Hey, critics, and welcome back to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel where you get commentary reviews and tabloid news. We are live on this Saturday, June the 13th, 2026. Hey, critics, it's time to chronicle. Up first, y'all, I wanted to follow up about a story that we talked about earlier in the week with radio personality Big Tigger. Okay, now new details have basically been released surrounding basically that suspicious video that his wife posted and then deleted with what appeared to be her face with stitches over like one eye, a bruised under eye, a tattered lip. Something was going on right there at the top of her lip, and what looked like to me a cry for help. Okay. Well, since we last spoke, this story has evolved a little bit. The wife has basically come out saying that she ain't never said that her husband abused her. Big Tigger has also spoken out defending himself against the allegations. And also the new co-host Francesca has also took to the airwaves to share her side as well. Additionally, TMZ does have some information as it relates to Big Tigger being named in an investigation. Now, according to TMZ, police records were found identifying Big Tigger, whose legal name is Darian Morgan, as a suspect in an investigation linked to an alleged domestic assault stemming from an incident in May. Now, I do want us to basically take a listen to not only Big Tigger, but also his co host's side of the story, who basically came out and talked a little bit about her experience, kind of like what this has done to her. Again, I had mentioned in the previous video when I originally talked about the story how his co-host Francesca was a Emmy nominated journalist as well, like four-time, not nominated, excuse me. She was an Emmy award winning journalist. Had to correct myself on that. And she basically came out and she spoke as well. Now, I didn't see as much as it pertains to like a follow-up on Francesca. So I want to start off actually with her statement that she did on the show. So turn your volume up a little bit, y'all. Let's take a listen to what Francesca had to say.
Throughout my 16-year career, I've worked tirelessly to build a reputation that is rooted in like professionalism, integrity, and respect. And, despite these last few days, those values remain unchanged for me. I would like to reiterate that I have never, nor will I ever, have an affair with anyone in a relationship or marriage. My mother and father, who are listening right now in Ellenwood, have been married for 42 years, and I will always value such a bond. Mom and Dad, thank you for showing me that. As difficult as this experience has been on myself and my reputation, my reputation, my reputation. It's been difficult also on my family and my friends, my community, and those who look up to me. Just know that I feel more empowered than ever. And, this past week, it just reminded me that faith, resilience, and character, that's what matters most. That's the statement that I need. And that anyone who's listening to this, your worth is never defined by public opinion. I am so grateful for the incredible support of my family. Shout out to the Emmekers. Thank you for standing by me. My friends, my colleagues at V103, and everyone who stood by me and reached out online, on my phone, via text. I saw everything, and I do mean everything. This moment does not define me. I'm moving forward with faith, grace, gratitude even. And you know what? Even excitement for what lies ahead for me. Because as my father always says, the best is yet to come. So as Tigger even mentioned, I'm just so appreciative to my community, my hometown of Atlanta, for standing up for me, sticking up for me, and standing by my side. That comment section was evil, but I kept those DMs open and received the most kindness I've ever received in my life. And I'm so thankful to those who reached out with kindness and believed me. Thank you.
So we actually just heard again, that was Francesca Amaker. She is the Emmy award winning journalist who basically joined Big Tigger there at the Big Tigger morning show. She was the one who was tagged in the video that his wife Alicia initially posted, but then of course deleted later on. And that's one of the reasons why she was, of course, speaking out in regards to her reputation. It's what seemed like she was innocently thrown up in here. The girl just started the job, y'all, back in May. Okay, she was barely on the job. She wasn't even on the job 30 days when she actually released this statement, I believe. So that was on what, the 11th? Okay, maybe it was a month. So maybe it was the 30 days, but not 30 working days, right? But with that being said, friend, that was Francesca. We heard her talk about it. And when we hear Big Tigger, we're gonna also hear Big Tigger apologize to her as well. So that's of course what Francesca had to say. Now let's get into what Big Tigger had to say. And as a reminder, he had been absent all week from his morning show seat, but he returned on yesterday, which was Friday, with the following message. Now let's take a listen.
Doing radio now 32 years and television for 29. I appreciate first and foremost the support and concern that so many people have shown. I want to say categorically, these allegations and accusations that have been circulating about me are false, untrue, not happening, didn't happen. Additionally, it's important to clarify that Francesca and I have never been anything more than friends and respected colleagues. I'd like to apologize to you, Francesca, for the impact of these last few days or this last week. I hope you accept my apology. Out of respect for everyone involved, I've asked for grace, privacy, and restraint as my family navigates this difficult moment. For more than 30 years, I've had the privilege of serving this in many communities through music, entertainment, and connection. I remain grateful for the trust so many of you have placed in me throughout that journey, and I intend to continue living and leading in that manner worthy of that trust. And to all the people who have either quietly or loudly stood up and stood 10 toes for me, I appreciate it. For the people who have reached out to check on me, I appreciate you. No name dropping necessary. You know who you are.
All right. So then we just heard, of course, Big Tigger. He essentially spoke out yesterday in regards to his reputation, apologized to his co-host Francesca. I'm just saying basically he's sorry about basically her name being drug into this, but also reminded us that, he's been in the game for a long time as a radio personality, also as a television personality, as well. And so, this is definitely shaken up his world. What he did not do was officially sort of tell us exactly what did happen to his wife's face, because that's what she essentially said when she posted the first video and then tagged his co-host Francesca. She was basically saying, "Hey, ask my husband what happened to my face," right? His wife also reminded us and released a statement to Lauren LaRosa over at the Breakfast Club saying that she never, ever called her husband an abuser. And she did direct us to ask, of course, like I said earlier, like what happened to the face. But this is what she had to say in the statement. This statement is also courtesy of the Jasmine brand. That's where I was able to get the direct quote from, as it pertains to what she shared with Lauren LaRosa. It says, "I want to be clear. I have never called my husband an abuser. Social media has drawn its own conclusions from information that was shared. Girl from you." Sorry, the girl from you was my part. "But those conclusions are not statements I have made." Girl, but that was the impression you gave. Again, that was me just adding in there. She also went on to say that she respects the legal process and believes that law enforcement should be allowed to do its job without interference. Even though you literally posted something in the middle of an investigation, but whatever. Alicia also addressed the intense public scrutiny surrounding the situation, saying that while many claims, opinions, and narratives have circulated publicly, she remains confident that the facts will speak for themselves in due time. The statement comes, of course, after social media users speculated about the nature of her relationship with Tigger, following posts and allegations that surfaced online. Alicia didn't directly, of course, address any allegations and tell us what actually happened to her face directly. She just gave the impression, and of course with that impression it really did lead folks to speculate, right? Because when people, and it wasn't just that, girl, you also tagged his co-host in it as if she had something to do. Girl, what are you doing? You look like you out here playing Russian roulette. and not in the best way, like not nothing that's going to actually work out in your favor. TMZ added this to the mix, though, of it all, saying that dispatch records do show that Brown sought medical treatment for her injuries before police were contacted and an investigation was launched. She was later transported to a hospital, though authorities noted that her injuries were not considered life-threatening. The documents don't reveal exactly what led to Brown's injuries, and it's unclear whether any arrests were made or charges were actually filed. As a reminder, the two do share a child together and a son they welcomed last year when Tigger was 51. Now, for me personally, this still leaves a lot of holes in the story. We still don't know exactly what happened. They did launch an investigation. The investigation names Tigger as a suspect in the case. Big Tigger is speaking out, saying that, hey, this is not this is not anything that I've done. I have nothing to do with. The wife is basically saying we got the wrong impression, even though she gave the impression. She said that we basically got the wrong impression on the video, and that I guess the investigation will tell its truth later on. Francesca, which is the co-host there at Big Tigger's morning show, she came out defending herself, and Big Tigger gave her an apology as well for being drug into all of the mess that's going on. When Big Tigger did record the video, when I looked at his finger, he did still have the ring on the finger. So y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Was that the wrong hand? I think it goes on your left hand, right? The ring for your if you get married. And I believe that when the video that I saw still had the black ring around his ring finger. So he hadn't taken it off. I'm not sure if that just means that they I don't know what that means. I don't know if people take it off when they are supposedly in the process of a divorce, but apparently the reports are still saying that the two are in the process of getting a divorce, or they will be in the process of getting a divorce soon. So nothing that made it sound like they were necessarily together, but nothing from the two of them that sound like they necessarily, broke up or anything either. So I still, again, think that there's some holes in the story. I believe that there's more to come. And as the investigation, whatever the outcome is, I'll be sure to come back and I'll share that as well. And of course, if Big Tigger comes out and says anything, if Alicia says anything, whatever the outcome is, we will be keeping up with this story. With that being said, as a reminder, here at the Critic Chronicles, our goal is to provide quality but juicy content from websites, digital magazines, and tabloids, most of which are sourced from our public libraries. Research from the National Library of Medicine showed that there are an estimated 17,000 public libraries nationwide, totaling 4 million visits each day. Public libraries are civic organizations that are committed to providing invaluable resources beyond books that are free and open to the public. Get your library card to access thousands of resources today. For access to past episodes, check out the description box. Also, be sure to subscribe to our backup channel, Hey Critics, also linked in the show notes. Thanks again for tuning in to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel, where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.